Now, to be clear, this is a bits and bytes talk with no game footage at all.
A few moments later.
And then I'd like to take a moment to do something we very rarely do, which is talk about the future.
What did he say?
By now, you've probably watched the latest PS5 Pro technical seminar hosted by one of gaming's best speakers, Mark Cerny, the lead architect for PlayStation. And even if I only understood 10% of what he was talking about, it was just great to listen to. And if you're at all into more of that technical speak, then I recommend you go watch the full 37-minute video if you haven't yet. I believe this seminar was received pretty well, especially by the more technical viewers, and Mark did work to give a little bit more context as to why they made the PS5 Pro the way that it is. And I'm going to grossly oversimplify, but it roughly translates to, technically it's a better console than the standard PS5. But what really stuck out to me is the announcement he made towards the end of the video.
The code name is Amethyst. With Amethyst, we've started on another long journey.
At time marker 34 minutes and 32 seconds, he announces a new project between Sony and AMD called Project Amethyst, which is named after the primary color of both brands merged into one. And he states that this is a new way forward for both companies in the realm of developing advanced machine learning and artificial intelligence practices to improve graphics and gameplay of games. But what does that mean specifically? Well, if PSSR, or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, I can't help, I want to say pisser so bad. I'll leave that in there. You guys deserve to know what I'm thinking every time I say PSSR. Okay, if PSSR is something to go off of, it probably has to do with cleaning up the rough edges around graphics and making it easier for developers to really finalize their work. If they only have to take it to 80% and PSSR does the rest, it could make their job and life a little easier. And it also is intending to reduce the workload on the GPU to bring ray tracing and other big graphical boosts into play while keeping high frame rates. Now, these are just my own interpretations as someone who is, again, kind of like a hobbyist when it comes to the technical side of this thing, so there's probably a ton more to go into, but there's probably no denying that the PS5 Pro's new features are an early indicator of what's to come, and even in some cases almost a testbed to monitor the effectiveness of this kind of functionality, only to improve on it in the future. And that's all fine and dandy, but I guess the big question here is, why should you care? Well, I think aside from the concept of Amethyst as a whole, this is where things could get even more interesting. The thing that stood out to me the most was when Mark said, and I'm paraphrasing, that machine learning in games shouldn't be limited to just improving graphics, and that it will also make using AI and machine learning more accessible for gameplay elements as well. Now, if you'll allow me to put on my tinfoil hat for just one moment, does the word gameplay here still mean things like smoothing the gameplay and improving frame rates? Or does this actually bring some AI into the idea generation process as well? I sure hope it's only about performance because I want AI to stay as far away as possible from the creative process. I'm really curious to see how this piece evolves. I'm not sure if you guys have seen all of the AI-generated promo materials recently released for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which show a 6-fingered zombie and another one that shows someone who has 7 fingers. I want to think that they aren't talking about that kind of AI, where it's used to generate new content. Hopefully, it just means that this new partnership will pave the way for essentially the next leap in graphical fidelity with high frame rates. Another interesting point is that Mark said through this collaboration, they hope to support broader work and machine learning across a variety of devices. So does this potentially mean using this tech for PC, cloud, or even licensing out this concept to other console makers? Is there more capability that they'll bring to the PlayStation Plus service, kind of like Game Pass? Either way, it's going to be an interesting next few years at Sony, especially considering where Microsoft seems to be taking Xbox, or should I say, Microsoft Gaming is taking Xbox. It has much less of a focus on specific console hardware and more of a focus on turning any device that can use Game Pass into an Xbox. like their new marketing material would suggest. Anyway, all in all, it was an interesting reveal, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more news about this as we get closer to some next iteration of whatever Project Amethyst is going to materialize as. And in the meantime, if you do want to keep going down this rabbit hole, I would recommend you go check out Digital Foundry's follow-up interview with Mark Cerny about that whole 37-minute tech seminar, and they also did their own little debriefs after the fact that one of them even goes into Project Amethyst. So if you haven't had your fix and you just want some more information on there, I'd highly recommend checking them out. So what do you guys think about this new collaboration? Do you think it's purely a performance and graphical fidelity oriented concept, or do you think there's something a little deeper going on there as far as bringing AI into gaming as a whole? Alright everyone, that wraps it up for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with future uploads. I've got a lot of fun ideas planned for 2025, and all the support in just the past couple months of having this channel live has been really encouraging. I hope you guys are enjoying this little journey, and I'm really looking forward to making a ton of videos next year and just having a lot of fun with it. So, okay, until next time, peace!